What is up, RotoGrinders? Dean here, Dean 7904. If you want to get all technical, 2 hours of nonstop NBA DFS conversation. Both the sites are in sync. 8 games tonight in the association. Some really key players we're currently waiting for as far as in or out. The Joker is questionable, Embiid is questionable. 2 big pieces we're waiting to fall at some point, if not in this show. Crunch time, which comes in around 6:15 or so on the East Coast, taking you all the way up to lock. The 2 fastest teams in basketball are playing against each other, Atlanta and Chicago. Like, what is that, 240 total these days? Should be a lot of fun. And these guys, the excitement that could not be contained pre-show when they found out we're running it back. It's Friday. It was so successful last time. The people loved it. Beer, just absolutely embarrassed. Was it Chop that was also on? I don't recall, but beer was awesome.
It was Chop. 1-0 on the scoreboard.
We're bringing back Film Friday. Film Friday it is. If you don't know what is Film Friday, I know I played Movie Monday before. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same game. You go ahead and give us the answer. Tell me what movie I'm talking about in the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. If you are the first person to guess it correctly, you get a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. No MMEing. Only 1 guess per clue drop. We'll drop clues throughout the show. Let's just go ahead. Let's go ahead and give the people 1 clue drop before, as we kind of just start the show. Drive. Drive is clue number 1. So go ahead and tell me what movie we're talking about. If you bink it in 1, congratulations. Good for you. I'll be really bummed because then it kind of ruins the game. But yeah, there's your first clue. You guys know Head Chopper. 2-time millionaire winner. You guys know Beer from the 6-pack, former FanDuel Live Final winner as well. Beer, how are things in your world? Happy Friday.
Thank you, sir. Things are good. Nice little NBA slate. A fun football game last night. It came in this ugly. The total's ugly. Then that snow started falling as we were talking pre-show. And this makes it fun. Not ideal for fantasy because not a lot's going to happen, but I think we got more than we thought. So a fun game there. Looks like a fun weekend slate, but NBA is what we're here to discuss. Some nice little slate here. Lots of injuries to parse through here, Dina. Lots of body parts, as you like to say.
For sure. Yeah. Jameis is so much fun. Jameis is the funnest. I want him to be the quarterback for every single team, for every single game. Like, just all-time quarterback. Wait, we got breaking news? What's breaking news?
Yeah, breaking news, Dean.
Is this real breaking news or is fake breaking news?
It's real breaking news, Dean, for the people who need it right now. Fast and in a hurry.
Okay, you want to break it?
Brock Purdy is out this weekend. Hurry up. Load up against the Niners. Load up against them right now before the spread changes.
Does that mean Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback for the Niners?
Dean, we're not playing games now, Dean. It's not time to play games. We need the people need.
Well, he can be, theoretically.
This information.
Not sure if you heard, but he's available now.
Shanahan's not pulling Daniel Jones off the street to run his offense in 4 days, 2 days. He's not doing it. Come on, Dean. This is actionable stuff. This is actionable stuff right here.
Do we know their backup is?
That's a great question.
But Garoppolo.
Oh, it is.
No, I'm just joking.
Come on,
Dean. I pulled a Dean.
Somebody said Brandon Allen in the chat.
Okay.
That's
load up against them.
Now, as a Packer fan, that's some great news. Now, it's not great for my love for Juwan Jennings on DraftKings, who somehow is about $1,000 underpriced. But yeah, I'm loving that for my pack. Could be some weather as well, as we saw last night. So good news there, Chop. Appreciate that breaking news.
Did we get it? Did we get it in time, Chop? Did we hit up the sports book? You call up the appropriate people?
They're usually on it. They pull them games quick. So if anyone got on that, let me know.
I don't have a sports book per se. I have a.
You got a guy?
Yeah, I have a guy.
Let me.
I don't think it's worth. I'm trying, but this show really puts a cramp in my
Green Bay. I got Green Bay minus 3.5. I got to hit that, right? Green Bay minus 3.5.
What it was that's what it was. No, it was 2.5. So it went up 1.
Okay, we just put a big bet on Green Bay.
You got teased there. You got teased that a little bit.
Tease it. I'm not ready to tease with anything.
Yeah, tease that and get that thing under 3, man.
That half point's going to kill me against Brandon Allen, former.
You do know that 3 is the most.
So I understand.
It's up to 5.5 on FanDuel already.
Ooh, 3.5 on Hard Rock if you can get it.
Forget that tease, team. Forget the tease. Just get it in.
You made the joke. You made that joke. You cost people 2 points because you stalled by making that joke.
No, we broke the news 2 minutes ago. What are you talking about?
Hey, Dean, what was the first clue on the movie? Because I forgot it already. That threw me off.
Well, it's scrolling at all times. Just to be it's the heads up, Chop. It's always scrolling, but I'll tell you, it's at? Drive. Look, have you seen the StreamYard screen and look at the official screen on? Yes, producer Steve has a scrolling for us the entire show.
Oh, look at us. We're fancy, man. I never even saw that.
We've had that for the entire time, but yes.
Okay, fair enough.
I submitted a guess. Am I right or wrong?
It's a good guess. It's right up Chop's alley, but it's not. And it is not that. But it's a good effort. People on YouTube are guessing. YouTube guesses do not officially count, but it is not speed, Casey. Just a heads up. Or driving Miss Daisy.
Okay, Dean, I'm gonna submit a guess in the chat.
There's a winner in Discord.
Dude, you got to be kidding me! Really?
Go check.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be so angry.
Well, Unbelievable. Chop and I threw a guess in the private chat, so check us first.
Chop didn't get it. Beer, you didn't get it either. But you guys are all thinking along. You're on the wrong track, but one person apparently is on the right track, and this tilts
the wrong track.
Well, I mean, because you're both thinking. Usually, one's not going to be the easiest of clues, but I guess one person did get this correct on just one guess, and the game might be ruined. It might be ruined, but it was fun. We had a fun 2 minutes. Let's see. We do have a winner. Yeah, we officially do have a winner. That's great. Bobby, you did not get it. I don't know what Bobby's guess was, but Bobby always puts it in ChatGPT, which is never going to work. Yeah, I won't say it just yet because we'll play it out just for fun. But yeah, I guess I made it too easy, boys. Yeah, well,
you guys could run it back, play again.
We'll have to think of a new one on the fly. I guess I could do that if I can.
2 minutes is no good for anybody, Dean. We got to get a longer game here.
All right, I'll try to think of a new one and kind of multitask back and forth. But somebody was on to me. Well, I don't want to say anything. We'll figure it out in the end. It's kind of sort of somewhat obvious. 8-gamer in the association. Nobody on the back half of a back-to-back. These are the cup games, obviously, which sort of matters. It sort of dictates stuff. Speaking of gambling and speaking of betting, I was going to bet Boston because, we saw Boston last year. Now, this was the last game when they knew exactly what they needed, basically, as far as jockeying for position, for point differential. But Boston last year put a hurting on. I think Atlanta kept Tatum out there until like 2 minutes to go. They were by 30 or 25. Kept Brown out there until 2 minutes to go. They were doing, it was the Bulls because they're doing Haka Drummond with like 7 minutes to go. I was looking at the box score. And they're up like 30 because point differential matters. So they're probably going to beat up Washington no matter what. I think the line's like 17 now. It is a huge number. 16. It's officially 16. I was pulling up the standings. Atlanta is 2-0, so they're fully motivated. Of course, they had that upset of Boston. Your Rockets, Chop, they're 1-0 playing tonight. Who else is like desperate for a victory? Indiana's 0-1, and they made it to the finals last year. Yeah, they're facing Milwaukee, and I'm pretty sure, I guess Beard would remember this. Wasn't Indiana the team that knocked out Milwaukee in that amazing game? And like the thing with the game ball and Giannis and the stuff in the locker room. I think
that was, yes, I'm fairly certain that was the tournament last year. Tyrese Halliburton went absolutely crazy against us. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Dean. Appreciate it.
Well, tonight you get the revenge. I was digging into Giannis the stuff against the Pacers last year. You probably know this too, but man, he destroys everybody, but he really destroys the Pacers. I was looking at that on Stat News pre-show, but yeah, injury-wise, as far as basketball, we're still waiting for a lot of key stuff. Embiid is questionable again. He's upset about the story leaking that apparently he's late for everything, and somebody leaked that story, and he's not happy about it. I guess he was at shoot-around, but like sitting out at shoot-around. It feels like an absolute disaster in Philly. Of course, Paul George is out as well. Joker, there's no official story about like head waiting for a baby or a baby coming, but that's like the thought is what's happening. Everything is supposedly is fine with him. He's been out for personal reasons for at least a week, it seems like. This is now a home game. My guess is he plays, but I don't know. And who knows? Earlier we would find out, like when he was questionable, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We found out really early in the day. So my guess is he plays, but we do not know this just yet. Yeah, Portland might be without like 3 or 4 of their best players. It could be a mess there also. Oh, we also have FanDuel specific out of nowhere, kind of sort of somewhat surprising. Claxton came back tonight, and FanDuel crashes last night and didn't get the memo on Claxton playing tonight, and he's 3-5 over there. So interesting game theory thought process. Is he going to play full minutes? They probably would need him against Embiid. Embiid might get him in foul trouble, but an interesting conundrum over there on FanDuel. Probably play him your cash game if nothing else. Beer, you got anything else that we're monitoring before we do the old game-by-game deal?
I mean, just an absolute ton of injuries. I don't know if you mentioned Luka. That's another big one. So just so many stars out. We have the Atlanta-Chicago game. You know, everyone's going to target, going to see heavy ownership there. The Portland situation is very intriguing. A lot of guys in the mid-range that could pop off with some nice ceiling. So it's a fun slate. I mean, if you don't like news and you don't like adjusting on the fly, probably not the slate for you, but these are my kind of slates. So injuries, Dean. That's the story here tonight.
Chop likes to just like be done, have his lineup submitted. He can just chill 8 o'clock or so. But even DK included these last 2 games here because we do have a break, right? The first 6 lock before 8 o'clock or earlier on the East Coast. Then we have a 2-hour break, and we get Dallas, Denver, Sacramento, and the Clippers. Getting DeRozan back and getting Sabonis back for Sacramento. So Fox probably doesn't have to score 50 points again. So a little bit less. The usage will be delegated differently there. And again, the Joker news, my guess is we get it soon, but maybe not. Chop, how are we feeling about the slate tonight?
Please check the private chat and see if I got this.
He's working hard over here.
You think it's cars or speed?
Okay, cars not it because that doesn't match.
It's not speed.
What about my last guess right there? Reese Witherspoon.
Freeway, that movie Reese Witherspoon, where like she's a hitchhiker or something like that.
You said drive high, Steve. I don't know, man.
Who was it Jeff Bridges? Who was the evil? Who was the guy that I can't remember who it was? Yeah, the guy that picked her up. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but that's a deep.
Do we have? Okay, all
right? I got another guess, team. Check me out here.
It is not invincible. There's no enemy. You guys hear that part? You cannot mass multi-actor. One entry.
We're going for 150 here.
This is what we're doing, Dean.
Max.
You realize you can just go to the Discord and somebody has the answer posted.
I don't. No. Don't want to do that, Dean. That's cheating now. Yeah. Also, in the meantime, be thinking of another movie with some clues, Dean. But this isn't going to cut it.
Kiefer Sutherland. Thank you, Hoosier saying Bambi. That's who it was. All right. All right. I'll try to think of one on the fly. I'll try to put one together and have it good to go in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. You guys are going to filibuster for me. But, Chop, as far as the slates, 2 games at 7 o'clock, Brooklyn, Philly. We're probably going to get nothing from Philly. They never give us anything when it comes to news. 5:30, like you set your clock to it. We're going to get game time decision, Embiid, I think, my guess. But 90 minutes before the game. And then around 6:30 or so when the Twitter account gives you the lineup, then you'll find out. But that's how they do things in Philly. And that's why they get fined. And they keep finding them, keep finding Philadelphia. Boston and Washington, our 7 o'clock game. But Chop, you got anything as far as big picture wise when it comes to the slates? Or
no, just like you said, man, it's Friday night. So if you actually want to do something else with your Friday night, don't sign up for no games tonight. I'll tell you that. Oh, I'm out of focus now. Don't sign up for no games because this ain't I'm gonna give you a little secret here. What I'm gonna do, Dean, because I don't like the way this is going, Dean. So
okay,
I'm gonna give you a little.
So to play everybody from Atlanta, Chicago. Is that the secret?
Peek behind the curtains. I'm just going to play the turbo slate at 7 p.m. and be done with it. Don't even have to sweat any of that stuff. Try to make a small amount of a beak in cash. It's not as big as the other slates, but shit, get it all over with. I still got something to sweat, but I don't have to sit there and do anything else after that. So that's my thing tonight, Dean.
Tips from the pros.
Is it movie night? It's movie night, right?
Friday night, brother. Yes, absolutely.
What are the options?
Pick up some wings, probably. I'm going to try to pick up some wings. Then, I don't know. I looked on the Rotten Tomatoes. There's nothing that came out this week or today that's new per se. That's been released from the theater. So I'll probably just go with there's some good Christmas flicks on that are out there that I haven't seen that I want to catch up on. So maybe I'll watch a Christmas movie.
The Rock one looks bad. It looks really bad.
No, it looks like bad. Oh, that's bad, brother. Like that kind of bad. Yeah, I want to see
no. Like
the
bad,
red one.
Like this kind of plug.
It looks bad.
I like the Rock movies. I like what's the dude that's in there with him? The Captain America.
Evans.
Yeah, I want to see that. I don't mind that. I want to see that when it comes out. But I'm not going to go. Dean. Big breaking news, Dean. I got a show to do on Tuesday with you for the NBA. But the minute I get off the show, boom, I'm going to see Gladiator 2. I already got my tickets.
Oh, did you have to buy them that far in advance? Or that's the day you wanted?
It's the day I wanted. It's the time we wanted. It's the AVX, the reclining seats, all that whole deal.
Ooh.
And you have to get them because it's $5 Tuesday at that theater. So everything's $5.
So the whole family can go. You don't have to go by yourself. You can bring the whole family.
Not only can the whole family go, those tickets are so cheap. I buy an extra seat to have a little space from people.
There you go. Now that's a pro move right there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can sprawl out. All right. Let's go ahead and dive in and do a little game by game. Brooklyn and Philadelphia, 214 is the total. I don't know why we're talking about Philadelphia because we don't know. I mean, it's a if this and if that, but that's kind of where we're at. 214 is the total. Philly's currently a 5-point favorite. Embiid, questionable. We don't know if he's playing basketball or not. We know Paul George is not. He's out for a bit. Of course, Kyle Lowry, he's not playing basketball either. Brooklyn is getting Claxton back. DFS should be good to go. Late scratch last game. Cam Thomas is officially available. So I guess keep an eye on that, but I assume he's fine. I guess his back flared up on him or whatever. Little tankitis. Not really sure what happened there, but Brooklyn and Philly, 214 total. Brooklyn's a 5-point dog here, but it's all predicated on Embiid, who finally had a really good game. He was awesome last game. Took a bunch of free throw shots as well. So I thought, well, this could be interesting. Maybe he's the guy that we used to see, and maybe he's not. It's a mess. And we're getting no discount. There's no discount as far as the asking price. Where are you at as far as Philadelphia? If you want to go if then, by all means, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dominoes here, obviously, that need to fall. So I think if Embiid is in, he's interesting ownership-wise. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people flocking to play him at 10-1. So, it could be a way to get off some of the chalk. Sometimes spending up can be a way to be contrarian. So I don't mind that. McCain, I'm going to continue to go to. I mean, this kid looks great. He's getting a bunch of shots in this offense. Ownership likely takes a big spike if we do get the Embiid news is the problem. But cash games, I think he's fine. Brooklyn side, not a ton I love. I mean, you can make an argument for Ben Simmons with his ability to do everything and hit all the categories. Thomas with his ceiling. I don't mind Cam Johnson once in a while, but in this spot, I just think there's better games to target here. So Embiid, interesting. McCain, interesting. Brooklyn side, I'm pretty much staying away from.
Chopper?
Yes, with the current situation, assuming everybody's going to play, Embiid a game time decision, but let's say he plays, there's nothing in this game that I have any interest in.
Claxton FanDuel, are you playing FanDuel or no? You're not playing that.
And I'm gonna play a little FanDuel. It's easy over there. So
you see how much he is, Chopper? You're listening before? He's 3.5.
Run Claxton's 3.5 on FanDuel.
How does this happen, by the way? How are there not checks, balances, and at least one person that can say, whoa, wait a minute,
and
you can't have this guy at minimum price?
You would think after the disaster last night,
my God,
that they would maybe put some effort into it today. I don't know.
Maybe they were more focused on getting the refunds out than getting the pricing right.
Did they get refunds out? I don't know how that situation was settled.
They were talking about in chat. I haven't looked yet, but
what a mess. But yeah, even if his minutes are a little bit limited coming back from injury, if he plays 22, right, it just seems. Maybe in tournaments you take a position of a fade because there's an opportunity cost at center, Chop. But I don't know, man. It's good for cash games. It feels really just safe and easy. I think.
Let's check the ownership, and then we'll kind of go from there. So I'll do that.
What do you got?
Guys are moving on here.
Yeah, Chop. You said, I don't know. Did you guys mention Yabusele? If Embiid doesn't go, he could be pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah. I think if Embiid doesn't go, it changes things, and Yabusele would be fine, and Could probably look at other pieces too, but I just can't. I think he plays, but yeah, right now I'm going to treat it as if he's playing.
We're giving Maxey 28 minutes, by the way, just a heads up. We don't really know. It's, he's just come back.
Nick Nurse did say it's increased minutes tonight. So
was it 22 first game? I think it was 22, I want to say. 5 in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that will be more. Yeah. What was that beer you're saying the ownership on FanDuel for Claxton? Where are we at?
34% projected for 25 minutes.
So like around 25 fantasy points.
25 fantasy points, yep. So
yeah.
That's one of that, like, cash games, easy. Lock it in, be done with it, because everyone's going to do it. Tournaments, sure, it's a nice multiplier, but it feels a little, I don't even know that he gets to 25 minutes, honestly. If Embiid in, maybe they need him. If Embiid's out, does he need to play 25 minutes? I doubt it.
They can play more DFS and Simmons at center, depending on how much, I guess, Yabusele plays versus like Drummond. By the way, you're not going to believe this. The update for Philadelphia. We got the update for Embiid. You ready? Game time decision. There you go. Thank you, Philly. Completely worthless. Yeah, Maxey, we'll see increased minutes. We have it at 28. I guess McCain would be a guy that also would get a bump too, looking at the if-then stuff. And you never know with Drummond, but he's been terrible this year. He's just not been good. Yabusele's outplayed him. And if this game's smaller on the other side, you might not necessarily need him, and Yabusele can just play more 5, although he's played some 4-2. So all this stuff is worth monitoring. Chop, we got anything else to say as far as Brookwood and Philly? Or
no, but you can drop the next clue if you want to.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I got to come up with a new game. The next clue, by the way, is fee. We already have a winner. We have drive and fee, F-E-E. So there you go, drive and fee. Feel free to drop it in the chat. Drop it in the YouTube. Drop it in.
I saw the light bulb go off.
You're starting to get there? Did I make this one too? Was this easy mode? Did I make this one too easy?
I'm nowhere near it.
I don't know. It's possible I made it too easy. I got to make them harder going forward, apparently. Let's see. Koulibaly would not have a minutes restriction. Well, that's worth noting because that's the game we're talking about next. It's Washington. It's Boston. 238 is the total. Boston, a 16-point favorite. And again, if they're ahead by 15 or 20, they might go for the throat and keep their guys out there because, NBA Cup, point differential stuff matters. They did beat Cleveland head-to-head, but they lost to Atlanta. So it's head-to-head, and then the second tiebreaker is point differentials, and they're behind them, I believe. They got to be, right? I have this pulled up here as far as my NBA Cup stuff. Yeah, Atlanta currently is a plus 13. Boston's a plus 2. So this is an opportunity for Boston to jump ahead as like a second tiebreaker, though, because they did lose Atlanta heads up, and they kind of need Atlanta to lose versus the Bulls. Of course, there is a wild card as well, so you don't necessarily have to win your division. All right, who's in and who's out? We did get Al Horford kicked out. That was kind of a surprise. Horford's not playing basketball tonight for Boston. As far as Washington, Koulibaly is no longer on the injury report. So their injury report's essentially clean, right? And guys, Sadiq Bey, who cares? Marvin Bagley's questionable, who cares? All right. Chopper, talk to me about Boston and Washington. Do you believe Washington or Boston will keep their guys out a little bit longer? Sometimes like, oh yeah, Boston's gonna be great for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden it's like Peyton Pritchard season, or Xavier Tillman or Jordan Walsh or whatever, guys that we're not playing. Chop, do we believe Boston's gonna be playing their studs a little bit longer if this game gets goofy?
No. Boston, no. What is Boston gonna play their stars longer? Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. Why would they? They ain't going.
Just explain why they might.
I wasn't paying attention.
Are you listening to any parts of the show?
No,
he's trying to guess this movie.
I'm trying to put in the Packers. I'm trying to guess the movie, Dean. I'm trying to argue with Steve about next Tuesday's slate and Gladiator 2. There's a lot of stuff going on.
This is DFS. We care about today and today only, Chop. We care about Tuesday, next Tuesday.
I got to look at Tuesday, man, if that's the case. I got to. But let's see. Boston, no, I'm not playing any of their stars. Probably, I'm sticking to their backups. Sam Hauser is fine with me. Keita is fine. He's actually going to be one of my higher owned guys as of right. Yeah, he's been really good when he does get the start too. Derek White is the one semi-star that I would have the most exposure to. I don't even hate the Peyton Pritchard call and that stuff. And Washington is still a pure fade here for me, probably. So, yeah, I'm more on the role players for Boston, but not the guys like Luke Cornett who don't close. I need a closer out there, like some guy getting some fourth-quarter minutes. So that's kind of where I'm at here. Yeah, I just don't see Tatum or Brown really needing to be used a whole lot in this game more than normal, and normal for them is, getting run out. Buddy, we're going to have the first game kicks off at 6. I don't know what we're talking about, Steve, but
Chop. First of all, you understand. Universally, people speak in Eastern. You're talking to the country. You speak in Eastern time.
You know what I'm saying? Normal time.
What you're saying? But there's one person. Like, what do you mean 6? Hold on. What time is
Beer,
it?
What do you use? Central time or Eastern time?
No, I'm Eastern. I grew up in Central though, Chop. So I get it. But Dean's right. The Eastern is kind of the standard language.
Yeah, but I'm just.
Like you said, game start at 6 and people start freaking out. Like what?
Yeah,
no, not today.
I gotta hurry up here.
And what is that? What is that Eastern time? Is that 7?
Yeah,
7 Eastern. Normal time. Okay,
it's the universal language.
So I don't understand why the show next Tuesday would start 30 minutes later.
Why are we still worried about next Tuesday?
Because I got tickets already, Dean, and they're non-refundable, brother.
That $5 gonna break the bank.
I got a family.
Don't forget the extra seat. That's dead.
I got a family of 5 plus the extra seat, man. Now we're talking big money. Now we're in over our heads.
Hey, yeah, you'll win that $30 on that Turbo Express slate you're playing tonight. It'll be all right.
Oh, I could do that. That might work.
There you go.
Maybe I hit my Packers bet, man. Maybe I smash it.
Although maybe 3.5.
Maybe I got middled because Dean was making too many jokes and I couldn't get it in on time.
I think Hard Rock's going to limit me. I might have bet too much.
That's going to cost you. That might have been your death nail right there.
So the short term,
too much closing value.
Poor decision by my part, I think. Beard, you feel differently here about Boston? Because
I do. I really think this is a team that wants this, going to go for it. Tatum still feels like he has a chip on his shoulder from the Olympics, so this could be one of those things. Let's push for it. So I don't know that I'm going to get to Tatum. I do like Jaylen Brown. I think it's a nice discount, probably a much better defensive matchup for him tonight. I agree with Chop. Some of the value, bigs down there, Kata being the guy that I want to go to here. Washington, pretty much a fade for me. I don't see much against this defense. And Derek White, a guy I'm always interested in play. Probably not seeking him out, but sometimes you get to that range. Last couple pieces, he always tends to fit those kind of lineups. So that's about it for me here.
All right. I was looking at the ownership stuff. We are seeing 28% for Tatum. That's a pretty big number. And we're seeing Cornette. This stuff changed, obviously, with Horford being out, getting 21 minutes at 3.4K, getting a pretty big chunk of ownership as well. Just don't know, does he mop up? I don't. If this is a regular game, Beer, typically he's not a full-on mopper. Like if his game is fully ugly, he's out. And what's his name? Tillman will take over, right? So he doesn't start and he doesn't full-on mop. But there's a chance that they just keep their starters out there a little bit longer than normal. Just trying to figure out if that's a good play or not. I think he's going to be fine, but do we see a smash game from Cornette? It's kind of. Is he putting up 35 at 3.4? It's kind of what I'm asking.
And that's the problem. I don't know that you get a smash. You're going to, we're projecting a near 7X. Again, that's great. But at 3,400, it doesn't hold as much weight here. And with that kind of ownership, I'd rather spend the 1,000, and get Kata in there. Or I don't see Cornette being cash games. If you want, again, you want to save some money, sure. Chop must have got in at 3.5.
No, he guessed the movie.
You got the movie.
Oh, okay. Priorities there.
You kind of gave it away. You gave me the biggest clue earlier, so
I did or Beer did?
Beer did.
What did he say?
He guessed.
Oh, okay. With my
he made a guess in chat, and you and Dean said closer, so that.
Okay. Once we switch from cars to a different meaning.
Yes, correct.
Well done.
Okay, what's the next movie, Dean?
I have not come up with one on the fly, unfortunately. My apologies. I should always have one ready just in case we need it to break that glass, but I do not have one. Maybe we'll come up with something. I'll see if my brain's got to bounce them back and forth because trying to run the show as well. Washington, we're just crossing them out. I agree with that. I don't think I'm playing anybody in Washington. Ownership is not there either. They're fully healthy, essentially. No reason to play anybody in Washington. Any news dropping? I don't see any news. Okay, let's move on. 7:30 games, boys. It's weird. It's an 8-game slate, and we'll get to it. Like, they're really popular games. But that one, well, Boston side, sure, but Washington.
So chop 6:30 games here.
Yeah, chop and adjust your do the math in your head.
I know Central Time. Wait, the Eastern's what messes it up.
Well, wait a second. If you know Central, you can just do the math. I do
the math. I don't need to do the math though, Dean, because I live in Central, so I don't need to do that.
Okay.
Just to appease these weirdos on the East Coast.
I mean, if I lived in the West Coast, I wouldn't say 4:00 start tonight. I just wouldn't say that because I know that that's not the
what
universally accepted. It's like that's just not.
Wait a minute. So if you lived in California,
correct,
and the game started at 4 your time, you wouldn't say, "Oh shit, game starts at 4:00." You'd be sitting in your house going, "Oh shit, game starts at 7:00. I better get to the couch."
Okay, no, if I'm talking to a bunch of people in the country that live in different time zones, but if I was talking to a friend of mine and said, "Hey, what time's the game tonight?" The game was at 4 because we're both in that 4:00 time zone.
And I I understand that universally, or at least nationally, we accept Eastern Standard Time as the one. But what is the population numbers on that? I bet the population numbers say the Central. There's more people in the Central zone than anything else. That's what that would be my guess.
I think you're wrong. If only we had a machine we can ask this question. Just type it in and the answer can pop up. But I think you're wrong on that, Chop. You think Central is more heavily populated than Eastern?
I think it might be out west. I don't know. Now I will say when you lived in Vegas, like when football's starting at 10 a.m. on a Sunday, that's a beautiful thing. Sunday night football's over at early. Oh yeah. I mean, some of these games go so late. It's team old guy here, man. I can't be staying up that late.
I'm kind of a night owl, so I don't really love. The worst thing when I lived in Vegas, like waking up and your parlay is already dead. Like you go, oh, man, or haven't even had a breakfast. My parlay is already dead. Well, go back to bed. All right. Golden State takes on the Pelicans. 223 is the total. The Pels are 10-point dogs here. They're getting a little bit healthier. Brandon Ingram's available, and Jordan Hawkins is available. Alvarado's still out, obviously. Herb Jones still out. McCollum's still out. Messi officially questionable. Zion not available, and Murray not available. As far as Golden State, they have listed Steph Curry probable, and Melton is donezo for the year, unfortunately. Beer, talk to me about the Warriors and the Pels. Elf Payton, shout out to him, just off the street, or I guess he was playing in Puerto Rico, I think. Just really good game out the gate. He should lose some minutes here, obviously, but just a wild story. And we didn't even know if he was playing an hour before the game. Like, how do we not know this? The news wasn't even out there. Like, is he in the building? Is he in a uniform? What's he wearing? But we're presuming he's not starting because, Hawkins is back and Ingram is back, but Messi's still questionable. How are we seeing the Pels and the Warriors here, Beer?
Golden State being at full health, not a ton of interest. Curry, always a play, of course, so I don't mind that at all. New Orleans, Ingram's frustrating. You would think with all of these guys out, and we've seen some games, but man, is he up, down, up, down, up. So, against this defense, been very good this season. Probably not seeking him out. I'll go more of the value route here. A guy like Murphy in the mid-range is intriguing with all that he can do. Boston, a guy I've been playing a lot. So those are probably the guys I'm looking at. Mostly Murphy, some Curry on the higher end, but another game, not super interested in this one.
Chopper?
The Golden State game, my interest levels.
Are you still multitasking?
Got a lot going on, Dean. Come on. Cut him.
I'm trying to figure out how Bobby has time to come in here in this chat and answer these questions and do all this, but he can't even answer my DM in Slack, man. It's been sitting there for 4 days. For 4
Whoa!
days.
Oh,
It's just bizarre how people treat the system here, man.
Wow, that ain't
I would
right.
say, I don't have
fellow millionaire winner. Yeah,
I don't have much interest.
I thought there was a club.
I guess I'm not invited to that one. I don't have much interest. Maybe. All right, so we'll see what the value happens later on. If anything opens up, and if nothing does, and I need some value, Trace Jackson Davis maybe would be a piece I would use at 3,700. Other than that, I don't have any interest in this game.
Okay. We shall move on. Still no news, right? Oh, we got something coming in, looks like. Oh, yeah, that's for Saturday. Cunningham, he's got that pelvis. He's not going to be playing basketball on Saturday. Oscar Thompson, questionable. So maybe he finally makes his season debut. But again, we don't care about that on a Friday. It's just worth noting going forward. Okay. But let's go ahead and drop that. Let's drop the third and the fourth clue because I am coming up with a new game on the fly. So we're going to do our best.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it's good. I'm not sure how good it's going to be. But let's go ahead and clue number 3 is the number 12. Just 12 is clue number 3. Let's just drop them all. The people know what it is. Shout out to Z? Y? I don't know how to pronounce our winner that took it down. I believe producer Steve contacted and got him hooked up there with the week free of RG Premium for binking it on a hole in one, no less. Drive fee 12 is the third clue. Fourth clue is stroke. Fifth clue is rough. Stroke and rough 12 is the third clue. It all makes. There you go. That's what I was waiting for. And I'm putting together a game momentarily. We'll probably have it up in a couple minutes, and we'll do that one quickly because it is more fun when we get to do it throughout the entire show. Pacers, Bucks. This is a fun one for sure. 237 is the total. Bucks are 6-point favorites. Giannis does not like the Pacers. Halliburton does not like the Bucks. He's also kind of hurting. His back is not good apparently. He's not. Hopefully that's what's going on because he's been bad. I'm not trying to give the guy an excuse, but he looks like he's legitimately out there not playing 100%. As far as who's in and who's out officially on the injury report, we have Nembhard is out, Naismith is out, Shepard questionable, Walker's questionable. Isaiah Jackson, I think he's done for the year, right? Yeah, he's still on the injury report. As far as Milwaukee, nothing really new, right? Yeah, it's just Giannis is officially probable. Robbins is out, as is Rollins. None of this stuff really matters. They their fringe stuff, I don't think it matters so much as far as Jackson or Prince or Green. I don't think we're delving into those waters today. But Beer, this is your team. This is the Bucks. There's a little revenge here. These teams don't seem to like each other. It's an NBA Cup game. Giannis has destroyed the Pacers. I think the Bucks play tomorrow. If you want to tell yourself a story that they get everything out of Giannis today and maybe they rest him tomorrow, but also the Bucks, they need wins. They're really struggling in the one-loss column as well. But how are we seeing it here, Beer, as far as the Pacers and the Bucks?
I really like this game, and I really like stacking this game. The problem is it's much easier to stack Atlanta and Chicago. The prices are, a little bit prohibitive from going that route here, but I still want some exposure. If you can get up to Giannis, the price is getting up there at 12-1. There's not a ton of value on this slate, but I think there's enough where you can still make that work. So like you mentioned, this one is personal. So these guys will be going all out. I'd love to play Halliburton, but I have the same concerns, Dean. He just doesn't look right. So something is not right there. We have not seen the ceiling that we saw in previous seasons. So he's of interest, but I probably won't land there. So a lot of Giannis, some value on Indiana could be the way to go as well. I think McConnell should see some more minutes with some of the injuries there. Had a nice game the other night. Mathurin, I think, could bounce back. Had a rough game the other night. So more so mid-range for Indiana. Don't mind Lillard either, but Giannis is the primary target for me here. And then some value with McConnell and Mathurin in the mid-range.
What do you got, Chop?
Yep. The star so far for me on the slate, if nothing else happens, is Giannis. That's the spend up for me. So I definitely agree with that. We're not getting a whole lot of movement on the Brook Lopez salary, and he's been crushing lately. It's mainly due to some really good 3-point shooting he's had. And then you have Indiana, who's probably not going to contest a lot of that either. So if you want to tell yourself you can still play Brook Lopez for $6K, which is very, very reasonable, and I'm all for that. Lillard's fine. The other pieces for Milwaukee off the table for me. I really want to believe that Halliburton is going to, muster up all that energy and strength and like you said, a game where neither one of these teams like each other very much, and he's going to use that to motivate him and at least push through whatever is bothering him right now. But man, because the price tag is really good. I just don't know. His performances have been so bad lately, like just so awful. So I don't know if I can do that, but I'm sure I'll take some shots on him in GPP. As always, Miles Turner's always on the table in GPP. Matherin's been good, and that's probably where I'm at in this game.
Giannis 5 times last year versus the Pacers. 71 DK points, 57 DK points, 95 DK points, 77 and 60. No less than 36 minutes. No less than 26 points in the bucket. He put up a 54 burger on him and a 64 piece nugget on him. He was so good. A double with rebounds every single time. Only one time did he crack double digits as far as assists. But yeah, he's been awesome. And I'm going to try to get him, but I don't know. We'll see. He's not he's my favorite big spend, but I think I'm working in the mid to upper tier as far as lineups. So we'll see how this stuff shakes out. Let's go ahead and tell the people. By the way, I got the official pronunciation. Thank you for spelling it out for me. It rhymes with idiot. Zidiot took down the contest, the week 3 of RG Premium. Beer, you want to explain what the 1 through 5? Who got it? Chop got it.
No, Chop got it. He can lay it out.
Lay it out for the people. Do you know what every clue means?
Clue 1, drive. The drive, tin cup was like he had that. What was it? The 17th hole or something, and it's golf, drive golf.
Well, that's the third clue is in reference to the 18th hole you're referencing, I think.
The 12 on the 18th hole. I saw that after the fact. Stroke. He was penalized. All the other stuff rough. Yeah, it's golf. These are once you get into the golf theme, if you were to have reversed those clues and gone stroke, rough, fee.
You're right. Yeah, because you would have went with totally different kind of movies.
We were all thinking car movies. That's all. And then I spurned Chop on. So you're welcome with my Happy Gilmore guess.
That's right. Happy Gilmore got me thinking in that opposite direction. Do you got another movie, Dean? We're doing another one?
Yeah, I got a new one. Whenever producer
we got 30 minutes. We got 30 minutes and only a couple games left. We're good. Let's just play around, man.
No, we got plenty of time.
Fridays, it's like being back in school.
That's right.
Friday, teacher, they don't want to push you on a Friday. Just goof off.
Yeah, so just different golf terms, right? You drive the ball instead of, and I didn't make that intentionally misleading because I wanted people talking about cars, but Zidiot figured it out pretty quickly. Fee, by the way, it's a reference to Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner stars in the movie. That's why we went with Fee. But
that's deep, Dean.
Yeah, that's deep. I was just thinking a golf fee, a fee to
green fees.
Yeah, green fees.
The deep cut, and we didn't even need it. We didn't even need it. But there you go. Clue number 1 for the brand new movie. We're starting all over. Clue number 1 is Plank.
I got it.
And by the way, Chop, you said we're just screwing around here. We can't screw around. No more screwing around. You know why? These the most important basketball game to be played in the history of basketball is being played in Chicago tonight. Atlanta at Chicago, 247.5 is the total, high and tight. When I say high and tight, there ain't no more high and tight than this. Atlanta is a 1-point favorite, and again, I repeat, the total, 247.5. That is a monster total. The 2 fastest teams in all of basketball. The Hawks, who give up the most 3-pointers, the most made 3-pointers. The Bulls, who give up the most points inside the paint. It's going to be electric in Chicago. Some would say the slate does not even start until 8 o'clock on the East Coast, or 7 o'clock Central Time, or 5 o'clock Pacific. Mountains in there someplace too. But Chop, are you as enthused about the Hawks and the Bulls as I am? I'm really, really thoroughly excited about this. As much as you're excited about Gladiator 2, that's how I feel about Hawks.
Wow. No way.
Maybe I'm being
think so. I don't think that's the case, but good for you if you are, because I mean, it's a good high-paced basketball game in the middle of a 6-7 game slate, 8-game slate. Yeah, it's nice basketball game here. Unfortunately, Dean, on that Atlanta side, I could see myself using some Trae Young, but he's in the superstar neighborhood, elite player neighborhood as far as salary. so I don't know how much I'll get to.
He's also kind of hurtish. He's hurt. He's a little hurtish too.
Jalen Johnson's an affordable price, but still, it's pretty high, man. So, I mean, I like him. I'll get there in some of these. I'll get there in some GPP builds, but not a lot. I have much more interest in the Chicago side of it. Bogdanovich, if you want to tell yourself that he's going to step in here at 4,700 and really – Dyson Daniels is priced up to 68. I'd love the guy if he was a little bit cheaper, man. Like his style of game would really fit the tempo of this game really good. But he's priced up. Everybody's kind of priced up on that side of it. On the Chicago side, I like a lot of these pieces. I mean, I'm definitely Ayo, all the whole backcourts, Giddey, Levine, Kobe, all the backcourt guys are in play here. I'll probably set a rule in lineup HQ. I'm not setting a rule because I'm just doing the turbo slate. So, but you could if you're doing the whole slate, you set a rule like you only want so many of them in your lineup. And Vooch is in good shape here too against this particular front court of Atlanta. So, yeah, I agree, Dean. It's a good game. I like it more on the Chicago side because the price tags are so much better. But you could stack the heck out of this thing and hope it goes off.
I might set rules where I'm playing like at least two on every side, and at least two for each side of this game.
We'll give us your rule. Are you going men two, max 6? Like I don't want to have like this. They're not super value. Like they're not super values, right? They're not 3K, 4K, which is when you usually want to pop 4 guys in your lineup from the same team. So I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to have that many, but like again, I handle my lineup. So I also go to lineup HQ and say, force me 2 on Atlanta, 2 on Chicago. And I want to definitely make sure I get this person and this person. And I look at the first 20 or so they could spit out. And I'm like, okay, I don't want that guy, but I like this guy. And that's kind of how I'll build lineups. Sometimes I'll do it by hand as well, depending on as far as time. But that's kind of how I make them. This is an obvious one, but Capella or Okongwu, but don't play both. Just like yesterday. Was it yesterday with Portland's the same situation with Klingon and Williams. Yesterday we saw it with the different centers. Bassey and Collins, the same sort of deal. Some of these teams, they're just going to essentially chop the 48 center minutes, and you lean into the unpredictability because Capella might play 28 minutes and Okongwu might play 20, or Okongwu might play 28 and Capella might play 20, and I want to play one of those two. Now it's possible. It's possible they each play 24 and they're both kind of sort of somewhat fine and neither are necessary. That's possible too. But I'm leaning into the extremes. And Capella scores 87% of his points. Where at? In the paint. And who gives the most paint points in the league? That's the Bulls. So he's my favorite. He's my favorite when it comes to the price. But for sure, play some Okongwu as well. Torrey Craig snuck into the starting lineup last time. Not really enthused at playing him, but I guess it's playable if you hold your nose. But I prefer Ayo. Vuk is great as well. Talk about, the Hawks giving up threes. Levine, tougher matchup there against Daniels. Daniels a good wing defender. I'm going to play some Levine. But if you want to get away from that, the best 3-point shooter on the Bulls is Kobe White. He can make 5 or 6 threes here against Atlanta, but I'm just going to get different routes. Your thoughts here, Beer, when it comes to Chicago and Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton to like here. My question, Zach LaVine's ownership seems a bit egregious at over 40%. I mean, I get it. I understand this game is one to target, but it feels like there's guys in that same, Kobe White to me is right there with Zach LaVine and going to be a fraction of the ownership. So I would rather go that route. The Sanmu is definitely interesting, stepping in, playing big minutes without Williams. I do like the Torrey Craig call out, played some big minutes in that game. So I think there's a lot of value here that people are going to be so focused on Levine, some of the bigger pieces that some of these mid-range and cheaper guys are the way to go here. I like the Capella call out. I will be playing them both as well, but I do prefer Capella. Vooch in a good spot. So this one's just fun. There's not many that aren't playable. Levine is my one that at 40%. That seems like a lot of ownership on Zach LaVine, who, yes, has had some big games, but is it worth a 40% own Zach LaVine in this spot? That's my question and concern.
Yeah, I'm looking at the difference, right? LaVine, you said, is 42%. Even if that's somewhat close, and White is 12.
Yeah,
I don't think LaVine outscores him 3 out of 4 times. He's not outscoring him. So I like the pivot, and you get a little bit of a salary saver as well. So Giddey's my least favorite. I guess Craig's probably my least favorite, but somebody said in FanDuel, yeah, Craig is still like 3.8, I think, in FanDuel.
He's cheap.
You can play him over there, but he's Tony Snell sometimes. Just be aware, like he will disappear for like stretches, and if you're not watching the game, you'll be like, is he playing? And he might be, but he isn't. But he's out there.
Is there anything worse than you're wondering that? So you go look at the box score. Yep, he's playing 32 minutes. Just hasn't done anything. Nothing. Just out there.
He's there standing in the corner and waiting for the ball to come to him. It's just never going to happen. And also like the Trae Young thing, which by the way, but the assists have been outrageous of late. He had 15 or 16 assists against Chicago earlier in the year. I was looking at that box score. It wasn't as high as I thought it was. I think it was like 125, 115. A lot of missed shots. There was a lot of missed shots. I think Trae, I was trying to look for like a ladder in my book. Unfortunately, while they're slow at pulling off Green Bay lines, they don't give you like ladders for like 13 or 14 or 15 assists. But this could be like another 15 plus assist night for Trae Young. And Jalen Johnson just like puts up 30 points. So
Dean, can we get an update? Did they update that line? Did you get some nice value? Or they're still floating at 3.5 out there?
Good question. Let me see what they have. Yeah, I'll feel better if it's bigger. It's 5.5 now on the Hard Rock. Okay. Yeah, 5.5. All right. And now I'm gonna get they're gonna kick me off. And in Florida, it's a monopoly. You got one book and one book only. So if I get the boot, then all of a sudden my sister is gonna be a huge fan of Hard Rock. Oh,
Friends
wait, what?
Family.
Well, there's sports gambling. I didn't know. How come nobody told me about this?
Bet, Dean? Couple 100,000 or what?
No. I'm not a baller. No. Clue number 2, by the way, scroll in there, producer team just dropped it for the people. And let me know in Discord, get you a week free of RG Premium. Clue number 2 for the second movie, unprecedented double feature today. Plank was number 1, Dollar is number 2. Plank and Dollar. All right, be first. Let me know what movie we're talking about. Anything else you want to say, Chop, as far as Atlanta and the Bulls? It sounds like myself and Beer are a little bit more enthused about this game.
Yeah, no, I said my piece. That's it.
He's planning out next Tuesday, Dean. Just leave him alone.
Yeah,
sometimes Dean, you just gotta you gotta speak up. And so finally, Bobby responded to me in Slack.
Oh, yeah. Politely, or did he come at you? Like, why are you calling me out?
Well, the problem is now I'm on the show and the guy's writing novels and I got to read that.
It's a smart move. He's got you leveraged.
Yeah.
We got Kenny Powers on the screen telling us about dollar bill, y'all. Any news coming in? We're still waiting for some more news. Nope, we got that Saturday news for Detroit, but it's still quiet in Philadelphia. We're not going to know that until like 6:30, my guess, until we finally get the whenever Philadelphia drops their lineup. Joker, who knows? But stay tuned on that one as well. We shall move on. Speaking of not having news, it's Portland and Houston. Houston, Chop, your Rockets are monster favorites tonight. 12, 13-point favorites to be specific. Taking on the Blazers. 224 again is the total. Portland has some body parts that are up in the air. We got to sort through them because DeAndre Ayton, he's got a finger, so he's doubtful he can't play. They said Jeremy Grant is ill. He's questionable. Scoot has a quad, so he's questionable. And Anthony Simons, he's got a hand, so he's questionable. Their entire offense, basically, with the exception of their fives, Klingon and Robert Williams are doing their splitting those minutes thing. But, I mean, I don't know. What are we supposed to do with this? Houston did send Cam Whitmore down to the G League, just a heads up, because it's just hard to get minutes because this Houston team's pretty good with the Terror Twins there coming off the bench. That starting lineup being really good. Şengün just annihilating the world. FEV's been solid. Just how do you crack this rotation? Chop, I don't know. What do we say about Portland? Are we just kind of waiting? I mean, is there one thing we're waiting for in Portland? Robert Williams looks good, and Klingon, the same sort of deal, same sort of rule. You can't play them both. I shouldn't say can't, but you really shouldn't. You kind of limit your ceiling. Do you have a lean amongst those two? And anything we're waiting on as far as the body parts of the Blazers?
No, not really. Body parts for Blazers don't really. I don't really see that being. Let me see. Yeah,
if they're all out though, like
okay, if they're all out, sure, and that's always a possibility. Well, like you said, we have to wait on that. I'm not gonna do a bunch of hypotheticals right now, but I'm looking right now at the Houston lineup as the a place where I'll go probably as much as just about any other lineup tonight, I think. Maybe. So Jalen Green probably got to be feeling a little bit better now after being sick for a few days. This seems like the type of game he could dominate, or Şengün could dominate. I don't know. One of them is going to dominate, right? I've said that each time they play is that one of them probably has a good game, and that leaves the other a lot to be desired. But Şengün really, really bounced back last game from that. He had some first half foul trouble, and he was looking like a dud for a while, and then he just smashed in the second half, and they were just feeding him every time down low, and he ended up putting up 30 real-life points to go with his double-double. So it's one or the other. Green or Şengün, great play. I'll have one of them in a lot of the lineups. Fred VanVleet, man, I give him credit. He's still got a little something left in the tank, and he's dropping some pretty good numbers. Jabari had a great game last time out. Every once in a while, against these kind of opponents, he'll have this game where he double doubles because he can grab rebounds, and if he hits his first couple of 3-point shots, does wonders for it. He's a very unconfident guy, man. He's very insecure about his game. If he hits his 3-point shots, gets him off going really well. He has big games. He's cheap. But Dean, as I initially start to look at this stuff, I might have more Dylan Brooks than anybody else in this game, just because of the salary. And I hate to say that because we got beef and everything, but 3,800, it's a value play. He's probably not going to go off super high ceiling, but man, he's been pretty steady this year. And I want to say that he might be efficiency wise. I don't know. I have to look at the number again, but I thought I heard this about a week ago. He was their best 3-point shooter efficiency wise. So I don't know how that plays out, but yeah, he's cheap and he's going to get you in this kind of a matchup, probably 20 as a floor. And maybe he bumps up to 25, and that does just enough to keep you in tournaments with all the studs you got on your team.
In the world of a salary cap. Seeing a lot of guesses coming in for the movie. It's not dumb money, or producer Steve is even getting in the action saying money plane. He knows it's not money plane, but he's participating still just for fun. Over on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. Candace saying National Treasure, even if it was, would not count. It is not National Treasure for the record, nor is it Point Break, Butthole Jenkins, or Uncle Buck, or Blow, or I see Rounders being suggested from Blink-182. But maybe if you get one more guess, one more clue, this will make things easier. Neither one of you guys have guessed, I think, just yet. So this should help.
At a loss. I guessed Pirates of the Caribbean in the beginning, and that was not accurate. So I'm at a loss here, Dean.
This might help. Vegas is clue number 3. Vegas. So Plank, Dollar, and Vegas. There you go. Get in there and tell me what movie we're talking about. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Let's see. Anything else here as far as the Blazers and the Rockets, or shall we move on, boys? Moving on?
No, let me wrap here. I didn't get to talk about this because I'm a lot more excited about the Portland side. Houston, I think there's a lot of great plays here. I don't love the ownership on Şengün, but I get it. In a great spot here. Jalen Green, love that price at 6,400. VanVleet been playing well. Surprise Chop didn't mention our boy Tari Eason playing some good basketball right now. So his price getting up there, but I still think you can go that route. But Portland, very interesting, Dean, here. If these guys are out, and even if some of them are out, Sharp's going to have to take on a lot more offense. So really like him. And then you get into the Bantons, the Camaras of the world that'll see an additional role. I prefer Klingon to Robert Williams to answer your question. I don't get the ownership gap between those two. So I think Portland could be a sneaky way to late news. Not a lot of people going to go there, but some of these guys have shown big time upside. Last season, Banton, Camara put some big games on the board. So if they're playing a heavy dose of minutes, matchup not great, but Portland very, very intriguing to me tonight.
So here's what I wanted to say. I'm glad you kind of pointed this out. My apologies, Beer. I thought you touched on it earlier, and I only went the beer here. I only went the chop, but we have an if-then set up, and it's just if Simons and Scoot are out. And I think this is because they probably set this up before Grant was officially questionable. So this is Grant in, right? This is Grant in, and Simons and Scoot out. Obviously, there are going to be like 17 different iterations in this combination. But if that is the case, Simons and Scoot out, Grant in, Banton is jumping off the page. 32 minutes, 36 DK point projection. Denny Avdia would get dusted off. 31 minutes, 35 DK fantasy points. And Sharp, 34 minutes, 34 DK points. So all three of those would look really, really good. if it is that very specific scenario. And we'll see. I mean, Portland, some might say Portland doesn't really care about winning.
Nope.
They're not really prioritizing winning right now. So maybe Ayton feels kind of sort of somewhat okay, but take an extra day or two, take an extra month, just hang out. And let's see what we have in Klingon. Let's see what Robert Williams. We got to showcase him a couple more games before he either A, gets hurt, or B, we trade him. But yeah, there you go. We did have a winner, by the way. We did have a winner. Chop, you did guess Ocean's 11. It's not correct, but I see where you're at. It's a good effort, good try. Klingon or Kata, Mabs is asking in chat. Yeah, you said you like Klingon over Williams beer. Do you like Klingon or Kata for Boston?
I'm going to say Kata, just because when you compare the two, Kata, Cornet, I like Kata's upside a little bit more, where Williams and Klingon could really cancel each other out. They're going to get time, but I'll say Kata there, but I do like them both.
Leprechaun in the Hood was guessed. It was not that. It's not the Hangover, but I can see where you're going that with Vegas. But shout out to multiple time winner, Peterman. Peterman took it down. I won't say it just yet if others want to play along. We still about 15 minutes until crunch time comes in. I believe it's Kirkwood and Taylor and Roth holding it down. Lively or Capella? Lively or Capella? I think that's Capella.
Capella
Here?
For me. Capella.
Yeah. Okay. We have 2 games. Is it 2 games left or 1 game left? Hold on. I got to get back to my pages. Jumping all over the place. Yeah. Okay. So 10 o'clock games, because now we have a 2-hour break. We might get a bunch of good stuff there in Portland, possibly, if the news kind of breaks our way. We still don't know about Joker. We still don't know about Nikola. He's currently questionable. We do know on the other side that Luka's out. And whenever Luka's out, it's like, oh man, let's run and play Kyrie. That's just what you do. You got to play Kyrie every. But the sites had a heads up and they adjusted. They did not adjust Nick Claxton. At least Vandal didn't. But Kyrie's not cheap. He's expensive. You got to pay for him. Certainly you can still play him. You can do that if you want. And drastic difference on Denver if Joker's out. We're currently projecting him in for what it's worth. But Beer, 224 is the total. Denver is a 4-point favorite here. My guess is Joker plays, but I don't know. He is supposedly in town, which makes me think he plays. Been out for a while with personal issues. And as far as anybody else of note, Ken Carr probably Dunzo for a while. No Aaron Gordon. And Dallas, it's just Luka and nobody else of note. Yeah, Beer, is it? I thought it was strange because when I opened up the slate, I'm like, oh, we're going to play Kyrie. And
yeah,
maybe not.
I did the same. Yeah. Like I had to do a double tick. Did they get the 89 and the 98 mixed up on his price? Because, well, kudos. At 89, he's probably, 35, 40%. Oh, 98. You got to think about it. So, sure, you can go there. I don't know that that's where I want to go. I think I want to go to more of the ancillary pieces. Hardy should get some more minutes. We saw a big game out of PJ Washington recently, so he's a guy that can get it done in a variety of ways. So Klay Thompson maybe providing more offense. He gets a nice boost without Luka on the floor. And then the bigs, kind of a similar situation. Do we want to go to Lively here? I know he was just brought up in one of the questions, or to go to Gafford. So that one I probably prefer Gafford. So there are a lot of ways you can go here. Kyrie's the big question. I don't know that I want to pay 9,800. I like some of the value, specifically PJ Washington.
Beer, I didn't run a Court IQ on this, but like in my head, I feel like Lively kind of is hurt. Yep. Is Lively hurt by Luka being out? Because Luka gets some lobs, like just a little PNR, just gets some wide open shots, like wide open dunks. So maybe I'm wrong. You tell me. What are we seeing as far as? It's
actually Gafford gets the biggest usage jump at 9%, then Klay Thompson at 5%, PJ at 5%. So it's weird to see Gafford getting a 9% usage bump. So very limited.
How many minutes is that? What's the minutes?
We're talking 59 minutes. So minor sample here.
Yeah. Chop, your assessment?
Yeah. Let me see. I was looking up the Luka stuff real quick, but as of right now, with Jokic projected in and Kyrie being $9,800 after he was $8,900 last game and he only put up 31 points. With those two entities right there, Jaden Hart is the only guy in this game that I'll be playing right now. And we'll see if other things change with injuries.
He's not on the turbo slate. You're not playing anybody in this game. You're doing turbo stuff, right?
Yeah, you're out.
I'm playing a little DraftKings. You got to do the full thing on DraftKings.
You got to talk him to it.
Yeah, well, it's too inconvenient to unregister from everything over there. So.
Fair enough.
But so Jaden Hardy, I think, is, unless there's injuries to break down. So otherwise, yeah, I'm not. And that's if there's no way to tell how that's going to play out early in the night. You kind of got to probably wait for 30 minutes or so before game time, in which case it'll be too late for me. But if I had any kind of huevos, man, I'd just X out the last two games and just call it a night after that 7:00 game or whatever, man. Just then enjoy my night and not even worry about it, and hope no news came in late.
If Joker plays, I don't think this game is like anything you must have. Like Joker, certainly, obviously, you can always play him. And even if he doesn't, a lot of the players, like their prices have been baked up a little bit in his absence. Like Kyrie, we talked about, he's pretty expensive, 9.8.
Do we have enough value, in your opinion, good value, to play Joker and Giannis in the same lineup?
Wow. No.
You might need Portland to sit everybody.
Exactly. Okay. So then if you're choosing between Giannis and Joker, and you can only choose one for your lineup tonight.
Giannis.
See? If Joker plays, I'm not sure that he's a guy I really want regardless.
The chat was throwing about Grimes. Like, Grimey's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I didn't bring him up, but he's another one kind of similar to Hardy. Just guys that can provide offense. Obviously, Luka, huge loss. Kyrie can't do it all. So I think one or two of these guys are going to hit, the Grimes, the Hardys of the world. So good place for value. I don't think you need to spend on Kyrie. Just take advantage of all the other usage that's being spread around here.
The chat was saying, what's the top two low chalky players? Well, I did run, this stuff is subject to change. Obviously, news is still coming in, so grain of salt. But as of right now, we have the best point per dollar plays, and it kind of speaks to the slate. Number one is Luke Cornett, but we talked about that being like an opportunity cost thing. 3-4 on DK, 20, 21 FanDuel TK points as a median projection. But you don't. This is how you know it's Levine. Levine's the second best point per dollar play at 7.4. Şengün, the third best. Capella fourth. TJD is kind of surprising, but again, when you're cheap enough, it's easier to become a better point per dollar play. Then Keita, then Vuk, another pretty big price tag. Derek White, Miles Turner, and Tatum at 10.4 is like the 10th best point per dollar plays. Okay. Crunch time coming in 5-10 minutes or so. We did get a winner. I'll go ahead and just give the rest of the clues and we'll explain it. Did come up with this in the fly, so maybe not my best game, but hey, somebody got it. We got a winner. Plank was clue number 1. Dollar was clue number 2. Vegas number 3. Hand is a big clue. Hand is a big clue, which you guys might get there with hand. And if not, I'll give you the 5th clue too, just because we'll knock it out. Prophylactic is the that's the 5th clue. Yeah, that's what it is, Chop. The 4th clue is hand.
Can I guess? Can I guess it out loud, or should I?
Do you know it now? Do you think you know it with those clues?
No, but I'm taking a guess. Oh, I mean,
you've definitely seen this movie.
It's
definitely.
Can I say it out loud?
You know it now, right? Just hit.
I mean, now that I'm thinking about hand, prophylactic got me thinking about. It brought me back to Kingpin, but then the hand now seems obvious.
Yeah.
Kingpin.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
man, that was a good movie.
That was a fantastic movie.
That was a good movie.
I was at a Marlins game and they had a Kingpin promotion night, and after the game, sometimes you stay for like fireworks, but after the game they played Kingpin before it even hit the theater. So I got to watch Kingpin like a month before it came out.
Oh wow!
On like the giant big screen in the Pro Player or whatever it's called these days. Plank, by the way, is in reference to Woody. Planks are generally made out of wood. Woody Harrelson. That's the reference there. Don't want to make it too easy as far as the first clue. Dollar bill Murray. Of course, the bowling championship takes place in Vegas. Hand is like the most important thing to know about this movie. Yeah. Maybe you can get a gift with the hand. I don't know if you can get a gift on that.
You're getting called out here, Dean, because Rick Samuelson nailed it. I'm pretty sure they were in Reno, not Vegas.
Ooh.
Oh, I think it was Vegas. I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I've seen Kingpin, but I'm pretty sure it might have been Reno. It might have been Reno. Was it Reno?
Either way.
On the
fly, we'll give you a pass.
If he's right, my bad. Then he's right. So be it. But yeah, and the last clue is, well, he got the sponsorship with his nickname was the Rubber Man, right? That was his nickname because he had a rubber hand. So there you go. Spoiler alert: he got a sponsorship with a prophylactic company. It was Reno apparently. So there you go. But
same thing. Come on, Vegas, Reno. We got the idea, Dean. Somebody got there, so you're good.
Apparently, according to Steven, Reno is the bowling Hall of Fame city. Now, if that's true, that's amazing. I did not know that. Shout out to Walter Ray Williams Jr. and Pete Weber. Who do you think you are? I am. Sacramento and the Clippers is the last game, 10:30. We got some reinforcements coming in for Sacramento. Double D's, DeMar DeRozan is back. Domantas Sabonis is back from his back. And they're taking on the Clippers and the Wall in Los Angeles. 221 is the total. Clippers are 3 or 4 point dogs here, Beer. Talk to me about the Kings and the Clippers.
Yeah, Fox has been pretty incredible, but like you said early on in the show, they're not going to need him to do everything now. So it kind of spreads things back around, all pretty expensive here. So I'm not going to fault anybody for playing Sacramento, guys, but I'm more so on the Clippers side of things. Without Norman Powell, who's been great, by the way. I mean, Norman Powell has been scoring at an unbelievable clip this season. I didn't know he had that in his bag, but with him out, we saw Amir Coffey step in. Never going to give you a huge ceiling, but a guy in the cheap that's going to play a good amount of minutes. So I do like him tonight. I don't mind Zubac either. Has been playing well. So the Clippers for me are where I'm going, mainly with Zubac and value with Amir Coffey. Sacramento's fine. I'm just not seeking them out.
Yeah, Powell being out, and like you said, Coffey is the one that's to the start. The interesting one, I guess, would have been KPJ, but he's the best fantasy player amongst the group, but the minutes are not solidified. Maybe getting 20 or so off the bench. If he's hot, I suppose he can get a little bit more run, but can't feel good about that. Sacramento still without Monk, but with DeRozan back and Sabonis back, Fox was amazing in their absence. He was just like, his usage was like in the 40s or the 50s, something really, really goofy. But with them back, I can't get excited about Fox, and just whatever. If you want to play Sabonis and DeRozan, I guess you can, but I'm with Beer. I'm not terribly enthused about the Kings. Kind of sort of happy to cross this one off. Chop, Kings, Clippers.
So the Kings, no. I'm not interested in the Kings. Almost fully healthy here. That's not. But the Clippers side is interesting to me. Kevin Porter's like, you're not going to – it's a GPP play. You're not going to – the minutes probably aren't there, although maybe he could come in and he's hot and he's a game changer and they keep him in a little extra. But he's going to grind his way with some stats, defensive stats, rebounds, assists. And if he's making some shots, he'll get you your 25 plus. The price tag is very cheap on DraftKings. I do think James Harden is going to shoot a little extra tonight because of the Powell absence, and that's okay. But I think the big one for me is Zubac. Is a price cheaper. He's going to take on some more offensive responsibility. And if people believe in it or not, I don't know. But he does. He's always seemed to have a pretty good way against Sabonis. He has a pretty good game versus Sabonis. So I don't mind Zubac.
I know he's got a really good price on Yahoo. I was doing stuff for Yahoo earlier today with some tags, and he's got a pretty good price over there. You certainly can play him on DK as well. Jim Harden, by the way, getting a 25% ownership on DK. That is surprising to me. We'll see how that holds, but maybe I'm wrong. But I think he's fine, but he's not somebody I feel like I absolutely have to have. I would not have him in 25% of my lineups. Any questions, by all means, fire them off in chat. Crunch time should coming in momentarily. Maybe we can get a couple knocked out for the people. Somebody asked earlier, best value play, as far like point per dollar stuff. I gave it on DK. I should give it on FanDuel as well. If you missed it, Nick Claxton is 3.5. He is the stone minimum on FanDuel. Center and center only opportunity cost and all that, but he's projected for 7x, around 25 points at a median projection for 25 minutes. And those minutes could be probably better or depending on, because he's coming back from injury and he's had a history of injuries. So probably not going to give him full throttle, but that's just 25 minutes. And that probably is what caught FanDuel off guard, is like injured players. I don't know why they would bump him down to 3.5, but sort of a surprise he's playing today. The next one, again, according to our projections, nobody else is not even 6x, but Levine, then Şengün, then Capella, then Gafford, then Vuk, then Dosunmu. It's a lot of Bulls. No surprise there. Bulls and Rockets. That game looks really, really tasty. All right, Chop. Who is they want to know who I mushed today? Did I mush anybody? I'm sure I mushed several people along the way, but anybody in particular to be mush? Was there a mush play, Chop? I don't recall.
Don't think you mushed anybody.
Yeah, not sure. Chop, who's breaking the slate today?
Who's breaking the slate? I would say my guy that I'm looking at right now, DraftKings specific, that I think has a chance to go for a lot more than that salary dictates he should, is Derek White. Going Derek White. I kind of mentioned it earlier. I'm not into Tatum or Brown as much as the role players on this team, and Derek White's the best at that. Love the matchup. I'll go Derek White here.
By the way, just 65 likes. I don't like to beg or grovel, but like producer Steve, it's been a long week for him. He says he told us he's not on a lot of sleep, and he said I'm on 4 hours of sleep and 6 pizza rolls. Could you get producer Steve some likes here?
We did 2 giveaways for you guys.
Ridiculous, just absurd. The gifts he's on point.
How do you land on 6 pizza rolls?
That's what
Is that all that was left? Or?
Microwave serving size said.
Okay.
Wait, you weren't sure how many to have.
Following the rules. Follow it, man. I just dump them on the plate. And
does it come exactly 36 or 42 or?
I think it was a bag of 50. I did buy one, get one free.
Well, how does 50 work? You got to make a tough call at some point. But yeah.
I threw 1.7 in there one time.
Living dangerously.
That is amazing. All right. Beer, who's breaking the slate for you?
The easy answer is Giannis. I mean, any guy that can go for 100 on DraftKings can break a slate. So mid-range, I like Desanmu, and cheap, I like Keita.
Not sure if Crunch Time is here. I see Roth hanging out in chat. He'll be here momentarily. By the way, I'm mentioning the lineup HQ stuff and all the stuff, all the bells, all the whistles. People are asking questions. Happy to answer those questions. Given the quote-unquote best value plays as is. But if you want to go ahead and get yourself a month of RotoGrinders Premium, it's just $79 and change. Now, you can get basketball if you want basketball. Sure, you're watching a basketball show. I assume you like basketball. That's $5 less, but you can get everything else. First month, $79.99. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, PGA, MMA, everything with the exception of NASCAR. But go ahead and have at it. Additionally, shot quality. You want shot quality stats? Get yourself access to the most advanced NBA data in the market. Get shot quality projections for Lineup HQ. It'll be right up there on your Lineup HQ. You can just pivot back and forth for the RG projections and the shot quality projections. Get the entire season, 200 smackers, $40 for a month. You want to give it a shot, give it the old test drive. It is less than $10 for 3 days. All right, let's go ahead and bring in Crunch Time right now. What's up, Roth? How are things?
Pretty glorious, Dean. Thank you for asking.
Did something happen that I missed? What's going on? Why are we in such a good mood? You seem like in a great mood.
I'm not sure if you see my name there, Dean. Can you read that?
Oh, you 100x last night?
I 100x last night, baby.
Dude,
yeah.
Nice.
Tell us about it.
Were you up? Were you sleeping? Did you wake up and see it? Give me the story.
I'll sweat whether I'm going to win $5 or $7.50. So generally I'm locked in, but I was just hanging out with my kids, had a great night, didn't even notice, woke up and bam, you won $100. So yeah, I did one of those $1 20 entry max single bullet, came away like 13th out of 30,000 people, I think.
Jeez. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Yeah.
Do you want to give props to I'm assuming I don't want to make any presumptions. Crunch Time helped you out last time. Whoever was on with you last night?
Yeah, and that was all I did. Literally, I made the lineup during crunch time. It took me 5 minutes, just listened to the advice of whoever was on the show. I don't remember.
It was Bobby and Kyle.
Did you have LaMelo?
Yes.
Did you have Brandon Miller?
Yes.
Did you have your boy Franz Wagner?
Obviously.
Yeah, that was the key. Last night was awesome.
Yeah, it was great, and I know a lot of users did really well. It's just as much as I want to talk shit about I'm the man. It's just a testament to how great our products are that I can just go into a slate knowing nothing on crunch time and 100x. I really feel like that's a testament to the information we're giving.
Do you need the bankroll management lecture now, Roth? Are you going to be are you upping your stakes today, or are we just kind of
all in?
I'm all in now, baby.
The only way to do it.
We're hot, Dean. When you're hot, you gotta strike. Come on. We're in.
Myself and Beer and Chop, we do appreciate you watching the first portion. Y'all got 40 minutes of crunch time, 8 games, plenty of news to drop, I think. Maybe. You'll probably get Embiid news momentarily, probably 6:30 on the East Coast, 5:30 Central Time. Chopper, myself, Beer, we appreciate y'all watching. Do hit that like button if you have not done so just yet. But Roth, go ahead. Take it away.
Good stuff as always. Welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. It's crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. We are semi-coordinating in our dark T-shirts. We got Kirkwood in the house. What up, Kirky?
Yo. Steve, quickly come in here. Did you say you microwave pizza rolls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta
don't have
grow
time
up.
to oven
You gotta
them.
grow up. You own an air fryer, right?
No, it broke.
You own an oven.
It lasted for like 4 years. It was pretty good, but it broke. I don't have time to preheat the oven for 15 minutes.
So you know what tonight is? Tonight is your 100x night, and you buy an air fryer, a new air fryer, or I'll send you one for Christmas, maybe.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
it is a textural difference. You know, if you just microwave them, they're soggy. It's fine, but it's not good.
No, they suck, but you got to do what you got to do.
You've been busy, yeah. I mean, we're all we're living that dad life. Sometimes you just got to survive. Steve.
Yeah, GoFundMe. We're gonna do a GoFundMe. Chat, hook that up and let's get this rolling on Twitter.
Chat says, I know a guy who just won $100. Yeah, that's true. I could be nice. Buy an air fryer. We got Taylor Smith in the house as well. What up, Taylor? You're muted. You're always very quiet, but you're especially quiet right now.
That is super embarrassing. I was just congratulating you on your awesome night.
Thanks, man.
Let's try to run it back tonight, shall we?
Yes, we should. I love my lineup. I love the build. Like, it's just this whole season I've been killing, and I've been casually saying, even last night, I told people I am absolutely crushing in these streets this season, and then I 100x'd. So I just feel like it's good stuff, man. I'm really impressed by all.
You have that invincibility feeling, like you can't possibly lose again after that, and then
I really do, which is usually
what it is we're in a great moment where the players where we recognize who can ball, like Franz Wagner, like these are the guys that they're actually balling, and people are still hesitant to play them, like at the price tags that they're at.
Right.
Like LaMelo was the easiest play in the world last night. Like you didn't think LaMelo was going to bounce back after getting benched. And he fouled 3 fouls in the first quarter. Did you see that? It was a little dicey there for a minute.
I didn't know that, but I did. And we talked about that narrative. I was like, he's going to bounce back and be great in that spot after getting benched. Let's see. Eric says, I bet Kevin's playing Shen Goat tonight. Yeah, of course. Play Shengun. Play him. You know the drill, guys. But you are not here to listen to me talk about my ridiculous winnings or my strategy. You are here for these two. So let's dive into it. Taylor, start us off. You can give me an overview, or we can just dive right into FanDuel point guard.
Yeah, so we do have news pending. Embiid and Jokic are both questionable. I feel like they're going to play, but that's just, a feeling. I guess we'll get the Embiid thing in a minute. Portland has questionable guys. That's not a huge deal, but it could open up some stuff. And a couple of really high total games, Indiana, Milwaukee, Chicago, Atlanta are going to be like popular targets, but seems like good chalk. So pretty good slate overall.
Okay. Well, then let's jump into it. Start a point guard on FanDuel and tell me what you like.
So in that Indiana-Milwaukee game, you can play Dame, of course, 8,400 on FanDuel, pretty cheap. The matchup's great against the Pacers. We saw this several times last year where they shot out like huge total games, even in the NBA Cup, which they're playing tonight. So minutes should be good for him, as they usually are. I think he's a great play on FanDuel. The Clippers are without Norman Powell and obviously Kawhi still. So Harden for 9,100 against Sacramento, I think is good. Trae Young in that Chicago-Atlanta game, he's a little injured at the moment with an Achilles thing, but the matchup could not be better against Chicago. I think you just play him and hope for the best with that. Going a little cheaper, I think Van Vliet's okay. 7,900 on FanDuel against Portland. Don't mind that. The cheap chalk might be Ayo Dosunmu, which is not comfortable, but Patrick Williams is out. cheap exposure to that super high total Atlanta-Chicago game. I think he's fine. And otherwise, it's like tournament stuff. Like Cam Thomas, I think, is okay against Philadelphia. De'Aaron Fox is a little bit pricey with Sabonis and DeRozan back, but not egregiously so. And I think in a tournament, he's still fine at 9,300.
Okay. And Luka is out, correct? So are we just jamming in like Kyrie and saying this is the obvious play or no?
So the sites immediately priced him up. Like the Luka news came out early enough yesterday to where he's 9,600. So he's not an auto play. Obviously, he's a fine play. The game should be pretty close. I think he's okay. But as far as the spendy point guards, I think Young and Dame and Harden are all a little bit better.
Okay. Good note. Kirkwood, what are you doing a point?
All right. Yeah, I think I like Dame, and we also have some narrative there. This is these guys went at it last year in the tournament, and if you remember, Halliburton was doing the Dame time, like he was mocking him. So you would think he'd be fired up. However, it doesn't matter because all the points are going to be going to Giannis tonight. So I don't really want to play them both together. If I wasn't playing Giannis, I would play I would play Damian Lillard, but I just want Giannis personally. I think he's going to nuke in this matchup with a massive total, great pace. And speaking of massive total and great pace, we got Trae Young for tournaments. Like this game has a 248 point total, and Atlanta plays fast. Chicago is the fastest, and they're also the worst defensively, or one of the worst. They're 27th in defensive rated, so they're poor, very poor defensively. And Trae Young is not going to get a ton of ownership in this spot because he's been pretty bad lately. And my theme lately has been like just trying to stick to these good players that I know are going to break out, which is like a Zach LaVine, which he's starting to, and we'll talk again tonight. But Trae, at 248 point total and like at that ownership, I think Trae Young is a smash for GPPs. I love him. I think he's just going to get it going. He's been playing through an injury a little bit, but they had a couple days rest. So let's go. Harden is in play. Kobe White's in play. Kyrie, Luka, without Luka, right? Kyrie's in play, and Kyrie's not going to be that high owned either. So like Trae Young and Kyrie Irving are both elite, and Tyrese Halliburton are all elite tournament plays for me.
Just seeing this from Tides, that Embiid is not going through the pregame warmups.
He's out.
He's officially out. Do we know that, or did that just drop? That just dropped.
Just happened.
Okay, so let's reevaluate here. Kirkwood, Embiid is out.
There's really not much to do besides from the guard standpoint, besides to play McCain. That he's still reasonable. Kid's going to chuck like as he's been, and it helps him. Tyrese Maxey's going to. They said they're going to increase his minutes, but I don't know how many minutes we're going to get there. But this opens up usage for all of these guys, obviously. But the real benefit is either Andre Drummond and or the Dancing Bear. So.
Okay. Taylor, do you want to add some context there when you talk about some of the bigs? Which one do you prefer, and how high up on the ladder has this now become a priority?
So on FanDuel, we have like a really obvious value center that's going to still be popular. Drummond is 5'7", Yabusele's 4'7", and power forward only. So I guess we'll see who starts. We don't have that yet. Yabusele is going to be probably the better play either way because he's power forward and cheaper.
Yabusele's 3.6 on DK, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty intriguing.
100x again, baby.
Yep, well, lock it in. Okay, take me to. I'm sure we'll work our way there towards the bigs, but take me to your thoughts on shooting guard, Taylor.
Yeah, so McCain, you can play at shooting guard on FanDuel. He's going to look a lot better now. The minutes for him have been insane, and the role has been insane. George is also out with Maxey limited. Like, there's no telling what he could do. He's going to be a pretty strong play, I think. Matchup's not great, but he's pretty affordable, relatively speaking. So I think that's still okay. Dosunmu, again, you can play at shooting guard. Chris Dunn is a value that's kind of interesting, under 5K. Minutes could be up a little bit for him tonight with Fox on the other side of that game. I think he's a little interesting as a cheapie. Trey Murphy's fine. Don't love it. The matchup against Golden State's pretty tough. They're pretty big underdogs, but the role should be good for him. I think Ingram Is he officially in? Do we have that yet? Anybody know?
I think he is.
Yeah, so
I'm assuming he's in at least.
I thought he was. Murphy as a secondary play is okay, but not my favorite thing to get into. Bogdanovich could be okay as a cheap play in that Atlanta-Chicago game. Jaylen Brown, if you're looking on the high end, looks decent. The Celtics have the highest total on the board, but probably going to murder the Wizards. So blowout potential, but like we've said, point differential matters in the cup. So maybe he gets a few more minutes. And then Kyrie, if you're playing him, I think playing him at shooting guard makes more sense just because point guard is a way better position.
Yeah. Okay. Take me to small forward.
Did Kirkwood do shooting guard, or are we good to go?
Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, it's fine.
Let me give this shooting guard a quick take. Let me just double
please.
down on this Jaylen Brown. So the point differential should matter. Missoula is a maniac, so I feel like he'll want to let loose. And Jaylen Brown draws the better matchup with Coulibaly probably guarding Tatum, and they're so bad at points in the paint. And Jaylen, nobody loves to attack the basket more than Jaylen, so I think this is a great Jaylen Brown spot tonight.
Okay, nice.
But that's like my one tournament play.
Wonderful. Okay, Taylor, your thoughts at small forward?
So we got an update. Oubre is shooting guard small forward. He's only 5'2" on FanDuel. Should get usage with Embiid and PG out. Caleb Martin, don't really want to do that. Not the most exciting play ever, but I guess he's okay. Tatum at the high end, of course, is going to be great against Washington. Zach LaVine should be quite chalky in that Chicago-Atlanta game. Forgot to mention him at shooting guard, but I think he's probably more playable at small forward. Torrey Craig is going to start, I think, again for Chicago. Got the minutes last time with Williams out. Not a comfortable value either, but another way to get cheap exposure to that huge total game. I think it's okay. Amir Coffey, another value that looks okay, starting for Norman Powell. Minutes have been up for him lately. Cheap enough. I'm not super psyched to get multiple Clipper cheap guys on the same lineup, but individually, I think they're okay.
Everybody's playing LaVine because of this great spot, but no one's really talking about other bowls. I heard Desumo mentioned. Is this a spot you can pivot and say, maybe I want Vooch instead, Taylor?
Yeah, I think Vooch is totally fine in this spot. Probably not going to be owned at all, especially on FanDuel.
Are there any other bulls that we should be considering?
Kobe White.
Kobe White. Yeah.
White. Okay, maybe I'll try to get him in a lineup without LaVine. Okay, Kirkwood, your thoughts at small forward?
Yeah, I like LaVine, even though he's chalk. I do. There's one caveat. He could get Dyson Daniels. They could decide to lock him on him, and that might make things a little bit difficult for him. I still think he'll be fine. But they may put him on Kobe too. I'm not sure what they're going to do. But it's just it's a massive total. There's massive. He should have massive usage in this game. Again, it's like who are the people that can score on this team, and it's LaVine and Vooch. So that would be the pivot, and Kobe White can also light it up too. So those are like the three guys. I definitely want like one of them in my lineup. Okay. But other than that. Jalen Johnson on the other side of that game, little prices creeping up there, but still a fine play. Andrew Wiggins has been cheap and has some upside. Just coming off of an Atlanta match where he went for 47 fantasy points, so I could get behind him. Brandon Ingram also is cheap on FanDuel at 8,600. Seems pretty reasonable for the amount of usage he's going to have. They're still missing a bunch of people. So, and CJ McCollum mainly is out. So, and Jaylen Brown again, which I've already said, and Tatum obviously, but I prefer Brown over Tatum.
Okay, take me to power forward.
Again, it's Giannis. I just don't see how he doesn't go off against the Pacers here. Jalen Johnson again, Brandon Ingram, Siakam. Has good history in this matchup. These are the two fun games, the Atlanta, Chicago, Indy, Milwaukee. And yes, they're going to get ownership, but it's not like crazy ownership. So, and I just don't see Giannis failing again. The guy just does it all. We don't with Embiid out. There's now another stud that could possibly, beat him tonight being out. If Joker's out too, I mean, it come down for studs. It comes down to basically like Tatum or Giannis. And give me Giannis in that at that point. So Draymond Green, interesting. Tari Eason, if you need, it's a little high here at 6,500. What do we? So also we got to talk about. So the Claxton is going to be mega chalk here. So it's like if you can get any other of these centers that are also power forward eligible. I don't know what we have here. Seems like they're all center eligible because he gets a boost. Claxton is ridiculously priced. He's priced the minimum for some unknown reason on FanDuel tonight, and now he gets to battle Joe Embiid's out too, who would like probably hurt him for foul trouble and whatnot. So it makes him even more, even a harder fade at this point. But I'll let. That's about it.
Okay, Taylor, your thoughts at power forward?
Giannis is like the really obvious play, and it's really hard to get away from him. I don't think you should on this slate. Jalen Johnson, I think, in that Atlanta game is going to be pretty interesting too. Chicago doesn't protect the rim at all, and that's kind of what he does best. So I think this is kind of a smash spot for him. Tatum, I like at the high end as well if you're not playing Brown. Siakam, I think, is also in a smash spot on the other side of the Milwaukee game. I think it's a great matchup for him. It's hard to get too excited about any of this other stuff. I think, did we say Yabusele's power forward only? He's going to look good. 4,700 on FanDuel. Better on DK, where you can play him at multiple spots, and he's barely over min salary. But even if he comes off the bench, I think Yabusele is going to have enough minutes to be worth your while.
Okay. Did get some news that Scoot is out. I don't know. Oh, a little yabba dabba do. Very nice, Steve. Is Scoot being out, does that change anything for us, Taylor?
We're waiting on Simons and Grant also from them. So I don't know why we only got one of them. It would matter probably if Simons is out, but they're in a horrible spot against Houston. They're probably going to get crushed. Maybe someone like Banton is an okay cheap guy, especially if both guards are out. But for now, it's not really moving the needle for me.
Okay. I was trying to figure out what this GIF was, but the dog is scooting his. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. And then
Phil loves doing that.
Yeah. And then at center, we have one. We mentioned there's just one mega chalk guy who's mispriced, right, Taylor?
Yeah, Claxton's 3.5. There's potential for failure, of course, because he's coming back from an injury. You never know what's going to happen with minutes and that kind of thing, but he should be like 5 to 6K, and he's not. So pretty easy play if you're playing like single entry or cash stuff, but the other guys are just going to be completely overlooked as a result. Şengün, Keita starting presumably with what's his name, Al Horford out for Boston, and Porzingis.
Yeah, he's starting.
Yeah, he's going to be an awesome play against the Wizards. Love Vooch, like we talked about a little bit. Jokic, if he plays, obviously is going to be completely unowned with the Nets game starting right at the top of the hour, and Jokic still iffy. Not really thinking Jokic should be limited if he plays, so that's the case to play him always.
Okay. Kirkwood, any other names you want to throw in there at center for us?
I mean, you got him. I'm just going to reiterate how Claxton is just ridiculously cheap. And then, and you also got Drummond at 5,700 and Keita at 4,900. Like, all three of those are like fantastic, absolutely great plays. So it's probably going to make it tougher or it's going to make like Şengün's ownership probably come down a little bit. Vooch's ownership come down a little bit. So there's ways, these are great plays, but you can also try to flip the script and play these high-end guys.
Okay. Well, speaking of flipping the script, we want to kick it over to DraftKings, and we know that you're trying to find value. Look, we got a lot of sports going on right now. We had the awesome snow game last night in NFL. I hope you caught that. But the more sports are going on, the more value you get when you sign up for RG Combo. And for a limited time, you get your first month of combo access for $79.99. That is just $5 more than NBA Premium. Do not pass up that fantastic offer. You would be foolish to do so. Let's kick it to DK. Kirkwood, you can start us off there at the point guard spot.
All right. So Derek White, great play. 6,900 seems like a great price for this Washington game, especially if they keep the foot on the gas. The Sunmu is in play. He's also shooting guard eligible. Kobe White, we've talked about. Van Vliet is a good play at 7,200. We're already starting to see Shaedon Sharpe at 5,700 be a good play here. for Portland, and there's potential for more players to be out. And he's a scorer, so he is someone that certainly could light it up. I don't care if it's Houston D. Someone's going to have to score some points. Harden, Halliburton, and Trae Young is going to be very underowned for this 248-point total. So it seems like a pretty good play to me.
Yep. Okay. Taylor, your thoughts at point guard on DK, please.
Yep. McCain now popping quite a bit. Should be, I guess, the co-usage leader with Maxey for them, as long as Maxey's on the floor. Very hard to get away from at 6'5". He's a little pricey, but, I don't see any issue with it otherwise. Halliburton is only 8,100. I know he's been really horrible, but this is about as good of a get-right spot as you can find. Definitely more of a tournament play. You're not considering that in any other kind of format, but this is the spot, I think, where he could bounce back, so I'm in on that. I like Trae Young quite a bit. Steph Curry is somewhat interesting just because he's the one Warrior you can kind of expect to play some minutes, but they do have a 12-man rotation, and they're playing a G League team, so there's blowout risk, but I think Curry in a 150 set is completely fine.
Okay. Let's kick it to shooting guard, and I will add, Taylor, if you can help me out. I need a guard at 4,400 or cheaper. We're talking about a lot of expensive guys, but I need somebody cheap. So walk me through your thoughts at shooting guard and let me know if there's a cheapie.
Not really seeing one. Maybe, well, he's not I guess Kevin Porter might be your guy at 4.2 or Chris Dunn at 4.3. I think I prefer Dunn for what it's worth. Otherwise, Dosunmu we talked about on FanDuel. McCain, you can play at shooting guard. Kobe White for the Bulls looks good. Jalen Green is okay. The minutes have been wonky for him, but a great spot against Portland. Derek White, like Kirkwood said, looks good here. Jaylen Brown, also only 8,200 on DK, looks a little cheap. I do like the matchup for Cam Thomas without Embiid in there, especially, and Paul George. Late scratch in the last game, but I don't think his minutes will be cut in this spot, and I think he looks really good in tournaments.
Okay. Kirkwood, your thoughts at shooting guard?
Yeah, Bobby Thighs in chat, he's saying that Drummond isn't starting. That's the lineup I see says Drummond not starting. It's Yabusele starting too. So if anyone has any other info, post it. But I think Drummond is not starting.
That's what the general agreement is. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So we are at shooting guard?
Yes.
Okay, shooting guard.
Shooting guard.
Okay. McCain, just going to chuck. Good spot. Jaylen Brown's my favorite out of all of them. Zach LaVine is up next. Kobe White, if you aren't playing Zach LaVine. Kyrie Irving, I love. I also like Chris Dunn would be my cheapie Roth too, just to reiterate. With Taylor he's 4,300 to get the lineup. But I love Shaedon Sharpe. It could get much better. He's a scorer. So those are the guys for me. And you mentioned Peyton Pritchard because he might be out there. They might be able to just crush second half anyway for point differential, and Pritchard will be out there just chucking. So 5K, I think there's upside there for sure.
Okay, we did mention when we were talking FanDuel, Claxton is not starting. We still feel okay with that. I mean, it's a misprice on FanDuel, right? Or is that, Taylor, kind of making you nervous?
It makes me a little nervous. I thought he would start, so I didn't see that coming. He's just so cheap that it's still going to be okay probably, but I do think that might scare some people away.
Okay. Kirkwood, take me to small forward unless you have anything to add about Claxton not starting.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not too worried. I think the minutes are there. But if something funky goes down, there's a little worry, I guess, but should be fine. Small forward again, it's Zach LaVine, it's Jaylen Brown again for me. Kobe White, if you're not playing Zach LaVine, Ayo Dosunmu, Derek White, a lot of the same guys here. I'm looking at shooting guard. Sorry. Sorry, small forward.
Yeah, we're on small forward. Yeah, you're good.
All right. LaVine, Tatum, Brown. Brown is my favorite. Cheap guys, Amir Coffey started 4K. I don't see a huge ceiling there for him, but I think he's fine. Andrew Wiggins, I said, he's just cheap. He's starting to play better. New Orleans is just a sloppy team, so I could see him doing pretty well in this matchup. Tari Eason is in play. Sam Hauser, if you really need a cheap guy from Boston to light it up in the second half for point differential, I think that could work out for you. And I'll throw in for GVP's Cam Thomas.
Okay, I've got 100% Dyson Daniels. Is that a mistake?
I kind of like it. He's going to be one of the lower owned pieces in that game. So I think that's, I don't know how many lineups you're playing. 100% might be a little aggressive, but
playing 5. I usually play 1, and then you win you 100x, and now all of a sudden I'm playing 5.
I don't hate it.
Okay. Also, Missy is out. I wasn't sure who Missy is, but Missy is not in. Missy missed a
He's a center on the Pelicans.
Does this change some things? Open
Not
some value?
too much. It'll open up like Robinson Earl a little bit.
Trey Jameson.
Yeah, Trey Jameson. But I don't think you want to play Trey Jameson.
No, I don't think so either.
Okay. Then Taylor, I believe we're to small forward with your thoughts there.
Yeah. So Dylan Brooks is small forward only on DK. He's under 4K. Kind of is what it is. He's fine. I don't hate it. Don't love it either. Sam Hauser, kind of the same story for Boston against Washington's fine. I like the other Celtics, Tatum and Brown, of course, if you have all the money to spend. Levine's going to be very obvious. I don't mind Amen Thompson as a tournament guy ever, especially in a game with blowout risk. He could see a little bit of that and kind of run it up against Portland tonight. I think that's interesting, along with Eason. Amen's a little cheaper, so I slightly prefer him. Coffee's fine. Otherwise, Oubre, better play on FanDuel, but still passable on DK, I guess.
Okay. Power forward, Taylor.
Power forward's going to be Yabu Season, 3,600, starting for Philly. Not the greatest matchup against Brooklyn, but it's a game that's going small from the jump. That should suit him pretty well, I would think. Giannis, obviously at the high end, going to be very hard to get away from on DK as well. I think you just play him and move on. Still like Jalen Johnson. Robert Williams is a cheap guy. You can play a power forward on DK, which comes in handy. Splitting the minutes with Klingon with Ayton out, but got the potential for a few more if Klingon maybe gets into foul trouble against Şengün or something like that. Jabari is an okay cheap guy, also shown kind of a high ceiling of late. Siakam, 7,200 seems really cheap for him, and he's not projected to be very popular at all. So that's something I'd be over on in tournaments too.
Okay. Kirkwood, your thoughts at power forward?
Yeah. I think Yabusele is an absolute lock. Power forward and center eligible at 3,600. I think you got to play him. And Robert Williams is interesting at 4,800. He was kind of the guy that everyone was going to play until all this value is opening up. He'll still get played for sure, but he's averaging like 1.3 fantasy points per minute in this situation with Ayton out, and he's been getting like 25 minutes a game. So I think he's a pretty solid play. Not the best matchup, so the ceiling may not be there, but he's fine. Jalen Johnson in that huge, massive total game, great play. It's all about Giannis, so power forward and center eligible as well. I think he's the star you play tonight. And then Pascal, I love the Siakam call at 7,200. Just seems definitely too cheap for a game with these guys going at it.
Yeah. Okay. How about center position, Kirkwood? What are we doing there?
Yep. So again, it's Giannis, it's Yabusele, it's Şengün. If you want to get crazy, Jokic. If you're want to wait until we get some news. 12-2 is I don't know. I don't think you need him, but he could absolutely break slate if he's come back tonight. So it's just a little bit risky whether he's going to play or not. Vooch for sure. Trey Jameson is starting to look better now that the projections rolling in, but against the Warriors, Yabusele to me should be a much better play personally, but and Keita for the second half of Al Qaeda.
Okay. I will now never forget his name. All right, Taylor.
Well, there's Al Horford, and then there's Cada. So they usually play next to each other, and it's Al Cada.
I didn't know. See, this is a Boston thing. I was unaware of that very clever nickname. Taylor, what are we doing at the center spot?
Yeah, Yabusele and Giannis are pretty obvious, but great plays. I think you're just playing them both probably. The Jokic thing is going to be really interesting. It's going to be hard for people to pay up for Giannis and Jokic, I think, comfortably on this slate. Would have liked Drummond more if he started, but off the bench, he's not going to be popular at all. If Yabusele, gets in foul trouble or if the game goes big with Claxton in there, I think he's okay in a tournament. There was someone I was going to mention, and now I'm forgetting. Yeah, that probably sums it up. I can't remember who it was. If I do, I'll chime back in. It was Capella. It was Capella.
Okay, good.
5'3". I think he looks good.
All right. Şengün, by the way, I just want to remind everyone, Şengün all season has either been playing awesome and only getting 25 minutes or getting full run and playing poorly. And one night he's going to get 38 minutes and play awesome, and he's going to put up 70 fantasy points. And it's probably tonight. Play Şengün at least a little bit because he has just ridiculous upside. Okay, with my daily Şengün speech behind us, we can open it up to some QQs. Let's see what we've got starting in the Discord. FanDuel large field GPP. Kirkwood, is it viable to stack Vooch and Levine with Trey and Jalen, or should I spread exposure to other games? He wants this to be like triple OT 190 to 188. Can you do that?
I mean, it can. I mean, they're the two high usage guys. It's a massive total, so I could see that working out for you. But definitely play some one on the other side, like if you could fit Trey Young or someone else.
Well, yeah, he's doing full. He's going Vooch, Levine, Trey, Jalen. Like he's all in.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I
made one lineup. I made one lineup just like that, and I love it. DK Cash question here. And let's see here. I'm going to come to you for this one, Taylor. It is Dylan Brooks and Şengün or Robert Williams and Van Fleet.
Second one.
Okay. Any interest in Dame time, Taylor, for you?
I would if I wasn't playing Giannis, like Kirkwood was saying. Like playing them together is a little bit dicey, I think. It has potential, but not my favorite.
Yeah, and everybody loves Giannis today, so it's hard to get away from Giannis to play him. But as a tournament option, not terrible. FanDuel GPP, Carolina guy says, Kirkwood, your favorite stud in a FanDuel GPP?
Giannis.
Okay. DK GPP, Kirkwood, 4,700 in the util. I already have Quetta.
Hold on. I gotta get this
4,700 in the util on DK.
I mean, it's Yabusele, but he's cheaper. I'd still say Yabusele.
Yeah, okay, that works. Taylor coming to you with Blink 182's question. Large field DK GPP, 5,700 left in the util spot. He's already got Capella and Eason, considering Shaden Sharp from Portland. Can I get your thoughts and suggestions? Thank you.
Yeah, I think it is Shaden Sharp. He'll only get better if Simons and or Grant are out, so I'm okay with that.
Okay. And then, Taylor, FanDuel cash question from aside. Rank 1 through 3, Fox, Trey, Harden. I feel like we're not playing enough Harden. At least I feel like, is he going unowned in a great spot?
He might be pretty low owned just because point guard is stacked. I would rank him Trey, Harden, and then Fox.
Yeah, I'm fixing my lineup, and I was debating between Trey and Harden, but I love Trey, so I'm using Trey.
I just have I feel like I have Trey in all of my lineups, and I should have pivoted some of that to some Harden. Hey, if you're watching this and you're wondering how much did the show cost again, it's free. All that we ask is that you hit the thumbs up for us, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We want more eyeballs, and that's the way that you can help us do that. Let's see what else we've got. Is Jemison in play? Jemison, Taylor, Jemison?
Yeah, he's the guy we think might start with Misi out.
I see.
He's cheap enough to where I think you can, but I am scared to do it. But I'm probably playing him, so yeah, I guess I would say yeah.
Okay, there you go. Eric Johnson says Vooch or Zubac on DK. Kirkwood, Vooch or Zubac?
I like them both. I would say Vooch though.
Okay, Kirkwood, any Brolo love?
I mean, we have so many good like centers at this point that I guess he for GPPs it's a good play because he's gonna get no ownership and he has flashed like a north of 50-point upside and he should play a bunch of minutes, so I can get behind it. It's tough to get there.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Kirkwood, have you had Samuel Adams, Derek White Ale?
No, but I've been meaning to.
My brother is a huge Derek White fan, like the biggest fan ever, even though he lives in San Francisco. And I'm trying to figure out a way to procure Derek White Ale and get it to him.
I'll get it for you.
We may need to figure that out as a Christmas present for my brother. Anyways, DK Cash, your favorite cash game play, Taylor? DK Cash.
Yabusele?
Yeah, that's a good answer. What do you think of Oubre, Kirkwood? You got any Oubre?
I like Oubre. Absolutely.
Yeah, you mentioned him. Okay. Kirkwood, thoughts on Simons and Grimes? Or maybe it's Simmons.
We don't know if Simons will be, or Ben Simmons.
I think it's Simmons because there's two M's.
Simmons is a sneaky play, I think. And he doesn't have huge minute upside, but
the game's going small right away. He could, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then Grimes, any interest? I think I landed on a little Grimes.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about it too. Yeah. Taylor Bryan says, how about Bogdanovich in a DK GPP?
He's fine. The minutes are going to be capped, though. The ownership might be lower now than it was earlier, so I think it's okay.
Okay. DK GPP, Util Giddy or Cam Johnson?
Johnson.
I have a message to read after lock. We are just moments until lock, and I will read that in the Discord here. What else do we got? Any J-Val love from our guy Butthole Taylor? He's 4.8 on DK.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think the matchup against Boston's obviously bad, but they do kind of take away three-pointers, and obviously he's not doing that for the most part. So kind of a sneaky play that I like, yeah.
And Al Horford's out, and Kata's kind of a poor defender, so I think that's a pretty sharp play. If they give him the start, absolutely.
Okay. Any interest in Torrey Craig, Kirkwood? He says DK single entry pivot off Klingon.
Not really. I think it's fine, but I'm not really excited about it.
Okay. Kirkwood, right back to you from Freddie. DK GPP, Giddy or Cam Johnson?
Giddy.
Okay. Very good. Guys, with that, we are moments until lock. I want to read this quick note from longtime viewer and Crunch Time fan Jay Sams, who says, hey, I'm building my lineups with a heavy heart tonight. I lost my father yesterday. I'm really going through it. DFS helps me escape reality for a little bit. I consider you guys my family because I've been with RotoGrinders for so long. If you could just keep my family in your prayers. I really love my dad. I'm sorry if I dampen the mood. We love you. I'm so sorry for your loss. And hopefully you can kind of find a little bit of escape in DFS. So I'm sorry you're going through that.
Yeah, I'll chime in and say there's been a lot of tragedy through the years from certain people in chat that, on sad things happen. I'm going through a lot of stuff myself too. And DFS is a great community and it's always there and it gets your mind off of everything. Like when you just want to just relax, watch some basketball, play some DFS, and it just clears your mind. So sorry for your loss, and I totally understand what you're going through.
Okay. And with that, I think we can bounce on out of here. For Kirkwood and for Taylor, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crunched.